Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Cynical Marketers. It's our second time starting this one because I screwed up the recording. It's episode 59.
Don't tell anybody. Nobody needs to know.
Season 2.7, point 2, or B, whatever you want to call it.
Version 2.
My podcast producing skills, which you can tell from our dozens of fans, probably. People are like, okay.
Not
This
even
podcast-
dozens, just a dozen.
This podcast, like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten one of the comments that's comment out there like, podcasting equipment is too cheap.
Well, I did think somebody said that to us on TikTok.
Oh, they did once. That's right.
but
We
yes.
have gotten that one. Okay. And it's not really that cheap. But
Yeah.
cheap enough, I guess. So,
Hey, listen, we're
okay, here we
cynical
are.
enough
We're
to
doing it
keep
again. We're
this.
talking about Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah, let's talk about
Like we're
Super
supposed
Bowl
to because it's
commercials.
that time of year.
And
you
we
know.
did it last year. It's like our
And
anniversary
we did it last
episode.
year. One of our first episodes, too. So,
Yeah.
we're talking Super Bowl commercials. And in full disclosure, neither one of us watched the game.
Correct.
And as we had discussed in the other video that you won't get to see, there's really not a reason to anymore either. If you don't have a team in it and you're just not a big fan, like I was kind of
Yeah.
busy doing work stuff, and I'm like,
I'm not
And
a football fan. Full
you
disclosure
can
there.
see all the commercials anyway. You don't have to watch
Yeah.
the game. In years past, it used to be you had to watch the game to see the commercials. Now you don't have to.
Yeah.
So what's even the point? If you don't care about the teams or you're not even a sports fan, you don't need to do it. So
Yeah, they were all released. Last year we talked about this because I actually think our episode last year was prior to the Super Bowl.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was so this year too, we kind of looked up all these commercials started popping up on YouTube about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago even, for some of the brands. And I know, Mike, you just did a video on this as well on your socials to talk about, you know, how it's just not that really, like you just said, it's not that special anymore. It's not that special experience of like, we're not all collectively watching it at the same time or reacting to it at the same time. Especially if you in marketing, like this is, you know, I'm not even a football fan and I always used to pay attention because of the commercials. Like I was interested
right.
in the actual commercials because it's the industry I've been working in forever, right? So it was always fun then to talk about it the next day, you know, when you went back to work or whatever. Even if you're not a football fan, you watch the halftime show or you watch the commercials, right? And so now that it's sort of all gone away because you can see everything
Yeah.
way ahead of time. You know?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, it used to be
I don't
that
know.
shared community thing that we all had where you're seeing
Right.
everything together for that first time and you couldn't walk away from your TV, you know,
Yeah.
because you might miss the commercial. So you're like taking a bathroom break when there's like a timeout or like a third down or first down. You're like, oh, I'd rather go during the game. I don't want to miss a commercial. But
right.
there's none of that community feeling to any of that anymore
Nope.
because it's all out and there's no reason unless you're a fan.
Yeah.
You know, and
And
you're
it's-
watching this game and you're like, I don't, you know, we are in the Chicago area. I am a Bears fan. So I hate the Patriots. So I don't care.
Well,
what
yay,
the
they didn't
Patriots
win.
do. And I nothing the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care at all. So without the commercials, then you're like, I don't want to watch the game for how many hours. And then this has been, I think this is a problem for the NFL in general. There's just so much coverage. There's just when Super Bowl pregame starts at like 2:00 in the morning,
Yeah.
it just never stops. So you're like, oh, I just can't. I don't
It's
know.
interesting because with this too, and you had said this before, like you said in the podcast we started and had to stop and try to, and now are re-recording. You know, the brands too, you know, they're putting out these commercials early, and you had said like, if, you know, you were ever in charge, you would not allow for that, right? Like
Yeah.
if we had if we had any say, we wouldn't allow for that because it takes away from that, not just that collective experience, but also when you put these commercials out early, folks like us, you know, will go out there and dissect them and talk about them and kind of beat them to death where they're just not even interesting to watch anymore, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, by the
It's
time they
just-
come out in a game, you're like, oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
Oh
I saw
there's
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know, you're not watching, and then, yeah, like I said, if I was in charge, I think it's ABC again next year with the Super Bowl. I would tell brands, if you want to advertise in this Super Bowl, great, but you cannot release your commercials online prior to the game. Your Super Bowl commercials debut during the game would be something I would put in place to try to bring some of that back.
It would make sense to me.
Hard to tell a brand, though, who spent $7 or $8 million, and that's just for the airtime. That's not even the cost of making a Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
You know, we did it on a shoestring budget years ago now. It's been a long time since we made a Super Bowl commercial. We didn't air it because I didn't end up buying the time, but it was a shoestring budget 9 years ago, and it was a couple $100,000 for us.
Yeah.
And we did it on the sly in Los Angeles without SAG, like filming in LA at like 2 a.m. in places and stuff, doing our commercials. So,
wild.
And it was still $200,000.
Experience, you know?
So I guess it'd be hard to tell these brands, like, you can't get maximum use out of your own stuff, but I don't know. I guess, that would be something I would do to try to bring some of that back.
But it's interesting. These commercials now, and I had said this before, like, they're not really all that great anymore, right? Or like you had said too, like, from years past, we remember the really great ones, the really funny ones, or the ones that really kind of push the envelope, which I don't necessarily feel even last year. Like, my favorite last year was the Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, but that's because I love Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. There was nothing about that commercial that was like, if you could not relate to the movie and the nostalgia of it, you were like, why the hell are these old people selling mayo? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I can't tell you. I don't remember. I don't remember any of the commercials even from last year's Super Bowl. So,
it's just that one was my favorite because it was tied to something that I like anyway, right? This year we watched them and, we watched them again like a week or two ago even, and had talked about them last week before the game, as far as like what commercials we liked and things like that. I just think, I don't know, like, I don't feel that brands are really pushing the envelope anymore, Mike. You know.
And they're tending to be mediocre because I'm sure they're so expensive and there's so much risk.
Yeah.
And brands don't like risk. One of my favorite things to talk about in the marketing world is everyone who thinks they want to be the idea person. They're like, no, I just want to come up with the ideas. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's an awful, miserable existence to be that person because
it's what we do. And it's
everyone. Rough. No one likes it. Everyone's going to tell you your ideas are dumb. Nobody likes risk. And they only want to hear ideas that they already had. So, I think that's a problem for the Super Bowl commercials. It's just too risky. They spend too much money.
Yeah.
And if they do something wrong or step out of line in some way, they risk the ire of the internet. Not even just for being bad, but what if, I don't know, they make some kind of a mistake. And who knows what that could be? You never know what's going to upset the internet.
Yeah.
Anything can upset the internet. And then you can
get boycotted and canceled and whatever other things. And I think brands don't want to do that anymore.
To run a Super Bowl commercial, it was very expensive, but there was a lot of upside. We come from e-commerce, and we knew guys. We were going to do one because we knew guys. I think it was Death Wish Coffee, who had run one the year prior, and we knew those guys. And what happened to them and their sales after they ran that commercial? They put essentially their whole year of marketing into it, and it paid off for them. And we're like, okay, let's do that.
Yeah,
So it used to be a big payoff, but I'm not sure that there is anymore.
Yeah, and they all feel it's the same brands every year now. Yeah. Like they've
got the money, and it's
Pringles and Pepsi and Dunkin, and it's the same folks. And obviously all the beer
$2 billion
ones
a year on advertising. So what's another $7 million? Fine.
Exactly.
I mean, we're already everywhere else. Why not? Gary Vee said, I just saw him talking. He's like, oh, Super Bowl commercials are still way underpriced, and of course, everyone hires him every year. I don't know which one was his or if he had more than, I'm sure VaynerMedia did a couple of the ads this year. I haven't seen.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know what they did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that it is that way, really. If you're unknown, maybe it's a good way to break through. But like Pringles, are you making your money back on that, really? I don't know.
I don't know. know, because it's interesting to me that the Pringles one, we talked about how bad the last year one was.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. Last year's was horrible, by the way, guys. It was that one with the mustache that was just kind of odd and gross.
Yeah.
And then this year they did one where like she builds her boyfriend out of Pringles. Like it's like
trying.
it's not okay. Like, is that supposed to be? I don't get it. Like I'm not trying to be dumb about it, but I'm like, I really don't get these.
Too, making a commercial. So I don't have a huge amount of experience, but I've made two. The two national commercials that ran, and one of them was intended for Super Bowl. And writing them, the first one that we did, when it was me and Dan, essentially we really came up with the first one. And then writing the Super Bowl commercial one, we did with our media partners that were in LA, who were going to actually, the production company.
Do it, yeah.
Them, the director of photography, the director, and then another one of their guys. So it was like 5 of us.
Yeah.
And even with 5 of us, we were in an apartment in Marina Del Rey in LA when we were writing this thing, fighting over the vision of it and what we should do and kind of how it goes. We wrote it in a day, but still, like, so I can't imagine in some of these other brands with these all these processes and approval chains and people.
Yeah.
How to get something through the approval process has got to be so watered down to make everybody happy.
I don't know.
Like, I just can't imagine. There's nobody who's going to be like, there's probably somebody's like, hey, let's try this idea. And then Helen and HR is like, no, I don't think so. That's a bad idea.
By the way, I just looked up VaynerMedia and their 2026 commercials, and they had the only one that they had, which is actually, I was going to tell you, is probably my least memorable one that I kept forgetting was even part of it, was the William Shatner Kellogg's commercial.
Oh.
Because I thought that was just an odd one. I was like, I don't know why. There's something else that William Shatner had been doing. Was it like insurance commercials or something? That I thought it was like weird that he's like doing a cereal commercial.
Maybe.
Oh no, he was like Priceline, wasn't he?
Priceline.com he did for a while.
He was doing something else.
That was during that was the internet bubble.
Yeah, so he had on this commercial, do you, like for the Kellogg's commercial, it's the one where he's sitting in front of a bunch of like TV screens and stuff. I legitimately, and eating cereal, I like when I first saw it, thought it was another like insurance or some, completely missed the Kellogg until he actually started talking about the cereal. But I didn't realize that was a VaynerMedia one. Okay.
I don't know, like
not very exciting.
The Pringles death or the Mr. Peanut death, and
that was weird. That was a weird one too.
I know everybody loves Gary. I'm
partial to Gary, but like he doesn't do. It's not like he's the one creating these commercials. It's
years ago. I thought he was good. Now I just think people put a mic in front of him too much, which they would say about me too. But like, why did you get to talk?
But it's the same with all the. It's just interesting that like that. I thought they had more commercials last year as an agency.
But
but I don't remember. But I don't know. Like what was your favorite, Mike? Like my favorite.
I'll show you. Okay, everyone. This is where we screwed up before. I'm going to do this right. This is what's hard about the behind the scenes of podcast production is running these things. So we're going to show Nada's.
Yes, please.
Favorite first, which I'm like, huh? So here we go.
It's why it's my favorite.
You can check out Nada's.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
Get them just how you like.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
From green to extra ripe.
Use the app to control your bananas.
What a time to be alive.
I can go believe what a time to be alive.
Sweet, get it.
I'm no good. No, we got it.
Okay.
I just thought it was so unhinged and complete. So I don't use Instacart. Like I don't use Instacart. I don't like work for them or shop with them. But that was so random. it was so like completely unhinged and random and not groceries related. And it was like, I don't know why. I just love that it was so random.
I get that's
like,
Ben
I don't
Stiller.
know a different word for
who's
it.
the other guy?
Benson Boone.
Benson Boone. What's he from? Why do I know his name?
What was that?
I'm a TV and pop culture person, so I should know the name. I recognize his name, but I don't know what he's from.
I was like, he's an artist.
I'm going to say like
singer.
what, Downton Abbey or something?
No, he's a singer. He's a musician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a singer. I was like, wait. No, but I don't know why this is, and just Ben Stiller, like, how freaking random. I don't know why this commercial, it just made me laugh because like nothing that happened in this commercial made any sense. And like Instacart lets you choose your bananas. Like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
do they really? I don't know.
Trying to maybe create an earworm because I'm as now that's the second time or more I've watched it. Now you're like, Instacart lets you choose your bananas. Like getting stuck in my head, I guess. But
it's just such a bizarre. I just thought it was so funny because it was so weird. Like it's not something you'd expect. Like Instacart, like because Uber Eats carried Matthew McConaughey into this year, right? Like that started last year, and it was the same thing, and it was just kind of like, like they were not that exciting. Like there's only so many football and Uber Eats metaphors you can make. Like it was just kind of again playing it safe, right?
Yeah,
this was just so
with
weird.
Cooper.
It was like if you saw this without any audio, you'd be like, what the heck is this a commercial for? Like, I don't know. Like, I just thought it was, at least it felt to me creatively, like you were saying earlier, like maybe they took a little bit of a risk. It's not a regular Instacart commercial, right? Like, it's not talking about benefits. And there's like a banana dancing in the background and a carrot. It was just very random. But Instacart is I think they have a carrot in their logo, don't they? So like, I don't know. I just thought it was really random and funny.
That's
so I don't know. What was your favorite, Mike?
I'll show you mine. And boy, they turned off comments on this one because the internet is like,
oof, I don't
killing
know.
this thing.
What was it? I'm seeing this for the first time.
I liked this one.
Before the movie, a much better version of Good Will Hunting was made as a sitcom with a real genius in the lead and some other actors.
Hey, Will, did you arrange the Munchkins in the Fibonacci sequence? I got a genius working for me.
He's such a genius, then why'd he put ice in his coffee, huh?
Come on, Chucky, I'm just Will Hunting. I'm not a genius.
I will marry the first man that can help me with the Fibonacci sequence.
How you doing?
Smooth.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
We're on a break. I don't need her. I still get everything I need right here at Dunkin.
Hey, kid, if you're still single doing this Boston shtick and working for Dunkin when you're 50, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Isn't that your girlfriend?
You like donuts?
Yeah.
Well, this is my new boyfriend. How you like these nuts?
I'm Tom.
I don't know why the internet hates it so much. I
have a few
liked
ideas,
it, and
but-
like you said about the commercial last year from Harry Met Sally, like I'm a Gen Xer, so that is all people from
It's nostalgic.
my youth on TV. Jasmine Guy, like seeing Jasmine Guy, my mom loved Jasmine Guy, so she just loved her.
Oh, and
so
it's
it was
like
fun
Carlton
seeing Jasmine
and
Guy and Urkel, Joey. I liked it. I thought that was fine as a commercial, but man, you go online, you go on Reddit anyway. Reddit hates everything, but
Yeah.
golly, they hate it, and they turn the commercials off or the comments off on that YouTube, which is never a good sign when comments get turned off. So that means there's hate. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. Fine. I guess I'm simple, but
So what I liked about Dunkin' Donuts is how they executed last year, where they carried the campaign through, right?
Yeah.
All the way through, even like months after Super Bowl. It kind of had continued, So I'm curious to see from them how this continues or if it's going to, right? Because there was another ad where Ben Affleck is talking to Jen and Matt, but they're not like the Jen and Matt from last year, which was Matt Damon and J-Lo, right?
Yeah.
Like he's talking to Jennifer Aniston, and I thought that was a cute cast though. I am a nostalgia person. So to me, I was like, oh my God, Carlton. And like, and Joey from Friends. And then we were on a break, like the most iconic, like Friends line, and
how you doing?
And then these nuts, like I like that one too. I think that was my, it ranked in my top 3, I would say. I think my number 2 was the pettiness of 50 Cent for DoorDash.
Yeah, 50 cents was okay. You did send me the other one they sent after the game when New England lost, and I even commented. I don't normally comment on stuff on the internet because you don't want to make people angry or not, but what I didn't like about it was he's like, all right, New England, game didn't turn out the way you wanted. So for you only, your city, you get a discount. I'm like, New England's a city? Like,
oh, that's interesting that that didn't even flag for me. I just thought, I thought 50 Cent, was having a moment last year. And then just to kind of use him and his general, like what he's now known for is his general pettiness, right? Was actually really, I thought that was, it was interesting.
It's funny.
Because DoorDash versus like Uber Eats, right? Like which Uber Eats, none of their commercial, I watched, they had like 2 or 3, again, all with Matthew McConaughey, right? Like they just didn't resonate. They weren't really standing out to me this year. Like last year, I think was the first time they ran them and they were kind of okay. And it was like, oh, Matthew McConaughey and like, oh, interesting, like, metaphors with food and football and whatever the heck. But this year they just kind of all blended in together. I legitimately was wondering if they recorded them all in one swoop last year.
I'm wondering, about that even business like Uber Eats and the other delivery, like you're going to order, which I've never understood and I don't do, but I think there's a real cost issue now, right? You're going to order food from McDonald's and then it's cost you $75. Right?
Because you got to get it.
And you don't know what you're going to get or if your driver's going to eat the food too.
Yeah.
Like you're trusting and drivers who you have to pre-tip now, I think, when you're ordering. And
you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
You're trying to make sure that your food won't get screwed with.
I don't know. I thought the DoorDash one was at least clever. Like they did something different. Like Uber Eats just didn't really take a risk at all. Like another, I think worth mentioning for me was the Melissa McCarthy one, the telenovela, which I thought was like a cute concept, but how it was executed, I was like, I kind of like, I guess I don't like her or dislike her. Like I think there's some roles that she's been really funny in and she's extremely talented. I see where they were going with it. I just don't think it landed all that well.
Yeah, she did those T-Mobile commercials too at Christmas that were really weird and not good.
Oh, the T-Mobile Backstreet Boys was also bizarre. I didn't like that commercial either. I just think there's only so many things you can parody, right. Like Backstreet Boys singing one of their songs to T-Mobile taglines. Okay. So they've become that I don't know. So cool, you're selling commercials now as a band. I don't get it. It's just weird to me. I didn't like that one either. I don't know. They weren't really any standouts to me. The Instacart I laughed at because it was just so weird and different.
Yeah,
right?
so I guess do that to be memorable, right? You got to be weird or how
you
different.
You can pick your own bananas. Mike?
Running the QR code on the screen, right, with nothing else, and then it was talked about. But that company's gone, I'm sure now, right? That was was that a Bitcoin company? I think.
Yeah, it was some crypto company. I know that we talked about what are some of your least favorite?
Just in general, I hate all the gambling ads. Mm-hmm. I can't. I hate it. Hate the way we've gone as a country on that. I don't care about gambling really. Yeah. I've always had a problem because I grew up poor and working since I was 12. So for me, when you go gambling, I always think about, how long I had to work to
make that money.
I'm not very good at it either. Right. So maybe if I would win, it would be different. So I always lose. So I'm you know how much my boss was yelling at me in the last few days for that money? Like, I don't think it was
Right.
worth it, so I don't care if people do it, but man, it used to be a harder thing you had to do. Like you had to go somewhere to go do it or go to Vegas.
Yeah.
It used to be a thing, or you had to have a bookie and it was kind of, shady
Sketchy
and it was harder to access it. Now we just created apps and we've got people addicted, kids, teenagers with massive gambling problems.
Yeah.
And we're all just feeding it, and the networks just go ahead and take that money.
Yeah.
How do these stupid apps have that much money to run these ads? Is because they're taking all this money from people who have problems.
Yeah.
And
It's-
I have a problem with it.
It's
So,
yeah,
I hate
no,
it.
ethically for sure. I do think that there's certain, it's hard because then you get into all the alcohol brands, of course, advertise during Super Bowl, right? Because it's beer and all of that. But, I don't know. Like the gambling ones were really off-putting this year. Like there was a DraftKings commercial that had a woman that was like on a date and she had like an earpiece talking to somebody at DraftKings. I didn't understand it. I don't understand the language around sports betting either. So maybe that
Right.
just the whole thing was like lost on me. I just thought it was a weird setup. And it doesn't speak to me. Obviously I'm not an audience or you're not an audience for this. Right. But I think it's just gone off the rails with the gambling
You're on
stuff.
a date, but you're so addicted to gambling that you can't even be bothered to focus
Be on
the
a date. You can't stop gambling. It's weird.
And you're like,
I just thought it was
and they're
weird.
like, look at this, everybody.
Right.
Look at how easy we make it for these addicts to get our stuff.
Yeah, crazy.
We're putting this out. We're going to put it in your face and
Yeah.
laugh at you. We're laughing all the way to the bank.
It's crazy.
I
One
hate
other
the
one
gambling.
that I thought, two other ones that stood out to me, Mike. What did you think of the Pepsi commercial with the Coca-Cola bears?
I thought it was dumb on their part to use an icon from a competitor and then make everybody immediately think about the competitor.
I
And
thought
then
that
everyone
too.
immediately goes to that. Well, the only time I drink a Pepsi is when I hear the words, "We don't have Coke. Is Pepsi okay?"
I thought that too.
I thought it was a bad
like,
idea.
I was like that. I see where they were trying to go with it. I don't know that it landed. I really thought, I think at first glance, and if you don't pay too much attention, it's a Coke commercial.
Right. Yeah, because
it's a Coke
you have the
commercial.
polar bears, the icons of this thing.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, the polar bears are going to drink Pepsi. Nobody chooses to drink Pepsi. Pepsi is foisted upon you.
Y'all can tell Mike is a Coke guy. Very, very strong feelings there. But another one too, I think for me, we briefly talked about this before we started the episode, was the Ring commercial, right? The missing dog Ring commercial. I feel like we can do a whole episode on the red flags of this alone, but I'm baffled that this is what I found interesting about that one, Mike, though, is we all know as consumers, and as the talk has been going on now for 2 days after that commercial aired, right, that the intent is definitely not to find your lost dog.
No.
If you upload people's faces into the Ring database so they can be recognized through Ring cameras, right, to help law enforcement with XYZ, whatever their stuff is, right? What I thought was interesting is that somebody at Ring and their agency had to sit down and say, how can we promote this service without spelling out the fact that we're surveilling people? Let's make it about a lost dog. Because who's not
Dogs,
going
of
to
course.
sympathize?
Everybody loves dogs, and nobody wants a lost dog. That's terrible.
Exactly. And so I thought that was, smart on their part, I guess, as much as I hate the whole concept,
But immediately, everybody saw through it.
Everybody saw right through that.
Right through it.
Right. So I think that's another one of those where we had talked about this before. Consumers are not stupid. They're getting smarter about the things that, they're seeing through your BS in your marketing, right? And we've talked about this in several different episodes. And I think the Ring commercial for Super Bowl was a perfect example of that. where everybody was like, oh, cute try. We know exactly what you're trying to do, right? Like, you just putting a dog in a commercial doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with the we're going to save the children thing, because that's what most places do now when they're trying to enact control over us. It's always about the children.
It's always about
somebody think of the children, you know.
Right.
So I'm surprised they didn't say, like, we're partnering with, you know, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or something, right?
Yeah.
This will help us find kidnapped kids, everybody. Like,
I won't.
How could you be against this?
Right. But I just think, like,
it saves kids.
This is, you know, this is an example of that. Like, they were trying to be, you know, in a way, I think, I mean, okay, creative. But definitely, this is where the internet, like, everybody saw right through that, right? And there's a lot of commentary about it. So I don't know. There were some interesting ones. I still stand by my favorite. That one won the Super Bowl commercial for me, just because it's so. I don't know. Ben Stiller is still funny. Like, I think, you know, I think he's still relevant to some extent. I think just the whole thing was unhinged for me. I'm not a Benson Boone fan. Like, I know some of his music, but, like, I'm not, you know, a huge fan of his. I don't know too much about him. I just thought they were an interesting pair. I don't know.
I didn't know who he was, so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's somebody to be in that commercial, but
yes,
yeah.
He is.
Yeah, you know, all right. There we go, I guess. That's our
What were
take
your
on the
guys'
Super Bowl
favorites? If anybody is still
and
here,
the coming
30 minutes
surveillance
in.
state, and you know, you wouldn't think that a Super Bowl would be where they launch, you know, they soft launch their surveillance state that they're about to roll out on everybody.
Yep.
You know,
What a better time, Mike.
right?
You know.
Yeah, the country's not going to pay attention. There's so many other things going on right now. We're just going to kind of let's soft roll this and let's see what happens. You know,
During football, while everybody's a little tipsy and eating good food.
we're going to workshop this. We're going to workshop some ideas and see how to pitch this. Let's go with dogs. Let's A/B test this, and we'll start with dogs, and then we'll pivot if we need to. But you know, let's kind of get this going. You know?
Craziness.
What? And then I think I saw whoever the CEO of Ring. I know it's a Google product, right? But the guy in charge of Ring was on a interview I just saw, I think this morning. He's like, what are you guys talking about? No, we're not going to use this for people. And the interviewer's like, come on.
Police departments have been using it for people. Like
Already. Your stuff can get, the police will come knock on your door and ask if you have a Ring camera and for the footage, you know?
And a couple, like...
Oh, yeah, it's already being used for that stuff.
Yeah, I just think, like you said, it's a weird time to soft launch this commercial, but like...
The government
like
surveillance state, I guess, so yeah.
You know,
right.
I don't know. I just hope like next year, some of these folks take bigger risks and there's some more memorable stuff, because I feel like by the time next year we do this episode, we're not going to remember any of these commercials.
No.
You know?
Nah, we'll see.
So.
All right, everybody. If you're still here, thank you for sticking it out.
Minutes in.
I doubt you are.
Hi, Lance.
But, you know, I'm talking to the ether again. Maybe this will get clipped. I don't know. We'll see what clips we come up with. I always forget that we have our clips, our shorts too. So whenever I'm like, nobody's watching this, we're still talking. You know, that could be.
That could be.
And maybe I just will start. We could like make a speed roll of me talking about how nobody's watching us.
Or saying hi, Lance.
Yeah, or hi, Lance.
Yep.
So.
I love our podcasts, though. I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. Let us know. If you're still here and you hear this, let us know what your favorite commercials were. Or at least
what
favorite.
you like, what didn't you like? So, All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you again next week.
Bye, guys.